What is up? What is up, listeners? It's your boy Coke Smush here, and I'm joined with my best friend Waffles.
Yo, yo, yo.
So, this is episode 10 now?
I think.
Well, I think so too. I don't want to go. Well, actually, I have the episode list on the tab. I can look right now. Yeah, so episode 9 was Smush and Web3 and the origin of Waffles' friendship. So, this is episode 10, and Waffles wants to get into. What was it again?
So this whole week I've been facing a bunch of different stuff. And the main three topics I wanted to cover today are success, affirmations, and determination. Uh
Affirmations.
yeah, affirmations.
So, for those that don't know what an affirmation is, quick rundown.
So it's kind of like speaking something into existence. Like I'll give you an example. Uh
Isn't that manifestation?
it can be manifesting something.
I thought affirmations were like positive statements, just like general fucking. Oh, excuse me. Um, like I'm a winner. I can do this. Something like that. Is that an
I,
affirmation or
I feel like they're kind of along the same lines of being similar.
okay? I
Um,
definitely think manifestations are something to get into also because I believe in that for sure.
yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd probably be better off with talking about like the affirmations and manifestation and stuff like that. I'm kind of new to it still, but I've been doing it for 6 months ish.
You're more experienced than I am, man. I don't
I wouldn't really say that.
I didn't really start, like really even knowing what affirmations were until I actually saw, okay, so Snoop Dogg has like this little kid show for toddlers where he's like this animated dog and they're singing songs and they do like these positive affirmations and one of the songs is like positive affirmations or something something. And it's like it's super catchy and like feel good. So I just felt like affirmations were something like that. I don't know. I was learning from Snoop Dogg, bro, on a toddler show.
I mean, you gotta find some way to entertain yourself when you're a kid, you know?
I was looking through channels to find something for Daxon to watch, and that popped up. I was like, "Is that Snoop Dogg, bro? Like, what the crazy?"
So first things first,
I'm the
about
realist.
success. You
Oh yeah,
know,
go ahead.
the biggest thing about succeeding is you gotta embrace the failure. You're not gonna succeed on your very first try, and that's where a lot of people get frustrated and decide that, oh, it's not for me. I'm done. Like I'm gonna move on to something else. And I don't. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times that I've failed on and on, but you got to learn from those failures. Each failure has some kind of lesson, I guess, in a way to put it simply. Uh, and not everything's been a success right off the bat. Like Facebook, Amazon, shit like that. They built up towards those big platforms, and the amount of different times that they failed trying to get up to that point are astronomical. Like it wasn't a one and done. Sweet, I'm a millionaire now, kind of thing, you know. Um, and that kind of goes along with the lines of determination. You gotta stay determined enough to push yourself and understand what you wanted as like an end goal, but being able to have these small goals to get to that end goal will help you stay on track to be, I guess, more successful in whatever term that you want to do.
You gotta celebrate the small victories. What is that saying? Nothing good comes easy.
Yeah.
So when you want something, that's where determination comes in. You have to really go out and get it, and if you try something and it doesn't work out, your first time, try a different variation, like just because something doesn't work the first time you do it doesn't mean that it's not going to work the second time or the third time, but until you try, you never know.
Trying to find this quote that I saw earlier today. Damn, thought I saved it. Um, but success can go. You could think about it multiple ways. I mean, I like to think about succeeding as a leader, and as myself as well. Like I've always been one that enjoys leading people to their victories, and whatever it may be. I've got friends from that are on different paths than me, but being able to help push them and remind them of why they're wanting to do this is I get enjoyment out of it, and it helps me be a better person overall. And they most of them do the same for me, and being able to push myself to be able to succeed a bit more. Like I'm doing a bunch of stuff with cars. I guess that's my job at the moment. I work on cars, and I did take some automotive classes in high school. I kind of worked on cars as a kid, but I'm not a car guy, so I'm just like, it's not my path. I'm not even gonna worry about it. And so I was like, I love computers. I'm gonna do that. Turns out I decided to not go to college. But most jobs want me to go to college for their sorry.
Those credentials that they want.
Oh
You gotta have a bachelor's degree.
yeah, like there was one the quote unquote entry level position. It was for like some IT level one, whatever the hell that means. Um Basically you talk to the customer, they tell you the problem that they're having, you can go through the steps or the list of whatever the hell company gives you. That doesn't fix it. You have to escalate it to the next tech, the next IT person, level two, whatever the hell you want to call it. But it was like, all right, we want you to have a bachelor's degree in computer science. We want you to have your net plus, your A plus. I'm just like, okay, no, I'm not getting any of that stuff because you're only gonna hire me at 18 an hour or fucking $50,000 salary. Like that's stupid.
Yeah, that's stuff that
I'm not
people
good.
don't go to college are out there making, just because they want something.
Exactly. Like I could do that shit on my own. I'll
College
fucking go
degree
work
should
at
be paying 75,000 plus.
yeah, like fuck it. I'm gonna just go work at fucking McDonald's. I can go make fucking 50K a year doing that
Bro,
shit.
especially the money that people have to pay for some of the schooling, because some of those prerequisites that you have to take require you to take, 2 years of this or 4 years of that. And then, you're paying all these student loan fees if you can't afford it. So you get student loans. Like I'm talking to Brad, and Brad's got like over $100,000 in student loan debt. It's like, what the dude? Like, I've never heard over $100,000. Like, yeah, dude. Like, I got a buddy went to the Los Angeles Recording School, $300,000 to go to that school a year. $300,000. That's over $250,000.
Yeah, just one of the community colleges I was looking at going to was gonna cost me like 80 grand just for my fucking associates.
Yeah, that's crazy. So jobs need to they need to pay out, especially if they're going to be requiring people to go to college, because you literally can learn everything the college is going to teach you from YouTube and Google.
Exactly. Like a lot of that's why people are starting to like a lot of their own businesses and stuff. And doing these like what are they like classes and shit, something like that. Instead of you know they'll charge like $20 for a whole course, and
Yeah, like
that's a
a
lot more
video course,
appealing
right?
than fucking 2 grand. Yeah,
Yeah. Than sitting through lectures for hours a day. I do not have the attention span to sit through lectures. I can watch a
yeah.
video. You know,
So
videos
what
are
like
more
the average
appealing.
attention spans reduced down to like 10, 15 seconds or some shit like that.
Blame
Because
TikTok
of
for
like
that.
Tik TikTok and shit. Yeah,
It's like
I was getting that.
2.5. It's like if you don't capture that and within the first 3 seconds, people are foop next, foop next.
Average attention span has gone down to 8.25 seconds.
Oh my gosh, that's so bad.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
just
me
crazy.
having ADD was bad. It's like now everybody has ADD.
I'm pretty sure everybody's got some form of it.
No.
But so back to the whole like success path. If you want to succeed as a leader, you gotta be able to focus on building your team. You know, like don't focus on just building yourself because then you're just leaving everybody else high and dry. And it's just like, well, now I know all this shit, but I have a team that doesn't know anything, but I'm expecting them to do the same thing I'm, which is kind of like a double edged sword, you know? Uh, Granted, have all this knowledge and shit now, and you should be willing enough to share that knowledge and help them grow. But then people get that mindset of, oh, I did it, so I can't you, you know? And
Yeah, like
everybody
they're
learns
supposed to
differently.
have that knowledge or something.
Exactly. Like I grew up with, helping out others, and that was like the biggest thing was being able to figure something out on my own so that way I can help out the next person that may need that help as well. And that's why I've not trying to toot my own horn, but that's why most of the jobs that I've had put me in a leadership role within the first few months after they see what I'm capable of. And I take a lot of pride in it being able to lead people and show that taking that initiative to answer the questions that your team may have or being able to help build up their dreams because it'll help you succeed as well when you in the long term after you look at the big picture.
And you should take pride in that. You know, like the world needs more leaders. There's too many people following other people, so if we had more people like you that had that leadership mentality and had the ability to not just lift themselves up, but lift those up around them, dude, this world would be so much better off.
Yeah, like so there's a huge difference between leadership and management. And a manager is someone that is there that tells you what to do and how to do it. A leader is someone that will teach you how to do something, build you up, and lead you in the right direction into becoming them in a sense. And a lot of people don't see that and they're just like, oh, I just want to be a manager. It's just like, well, what the only reason why you want to be a manager is because you see that your current manager doesn't do jack shit and you want to get paid the same amount they do for not doing anything. And I I absolutely despise managers that micromanage. Like micromanagement pisses me off. And I had a boss like that and he kept trying to micromanage like all the little shit that I did. And then at one point I was basically just doing his fucking job for him. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. Like I'm quitting June 30th. Figure your shit out. I'll teach whoever the fuck you want replacing me, but I'm out. I'm done. I'm not gonna deal with your bullshit anymore. It was always just oh, you've been saying you're gonna quit for a while now, and I was like, yeah, well, it's happening. Granted, I was unemployed for a few months, and then I actually got lucky with a family friend of mine that was willing to hire me, and that's when I did all my coax splicing and stuff like that. And being able to learn a whole new trade was phenomenal. I loved it. It wasn't easy by any means. There was a lot of times where I definitely fucked up a lot more than I should have. But I had that leader. Not a manager. He was a leader. He stood by my side. Told me, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Here's how you can do better. I'm gonna show you a few different tricks of the trade to help you speed up. But it's all about finding your own um, routine to be able to get the job done quickly. And that's what I did. I found my own routine, was able to outwork fucking everybody, including the owner, which was fantastic. And then I was asked to lead a team of 5 employees, I think. I can't remember. 'Cause I had 2 different crews I had to manage, so that was fun. But I felt like I was succeeding in the terms of, I'm building up my team, and therefore we were getting more work, so I was getting more pay, which was phenomenal. And a lot of people struggle to see the factor of, it's not always about just building up yourself. If you're working in a group of people, you want to be able to build everyone together. And the more that you guys can build together, the better things will be. I mean, I guess that kind of falls in like relationships and stuff like that. Granted, yes, I'm single. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it and trying to give some kind of advice, shit like that. But the biggest thing is self love, whatever, all that bullshit. But being able to be willing enough to build yourself along with building the relationship, building each other up, and having God, I have allergies. Lovely.
Well, back to like what you were
Can't
saying about
breathe.
the team, your team is only as strong as your weakest link is. So if you're over here just, out here for your own personal gain, trying to lift yourself up, trying to progress further in life while leaving your team in the dust, you're going to be holding yourself back from your true potential. Like you don't have to be selfish to want more for yourself, but you can achieve more for yourself by bringing those around you up as well. Because if you're hanging around people, if you're associated with people and people are at a certain level and you're trying to get to a higher level, the best thing to do is for everybody to get to that higher level. That's that wag me mentality that we have in Web3. Like we're all going to make it. It's I support you, you support me, we support each other. We're not this is my community, that's your community. Like it does get pretty nichey, like people get to or not nichey but clicky. It kind of feels like you're sitting in a fucking high school cafeteria and there's like tables, and there's the cool
Yeah.
kids and like the preppy people and the goths, so it kind of does get like that, with Web3 and NFTs and everything. But for the most part, dude, like we all want to be successful. We all want to make money. We all want to live a better life. So why are you going to be all about yourself when your brother next to you is struggling? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And everyone, like, a lot of the times you'll always hear like, it's a dog eat dog world. You gotta focus on yourself, all this other bullshit. And I don't I absolutely hate hearing shit like that. Like,
Well,
yes,
I agree. I agree to an
you gotta
extent.
yeah, the number one person you gotta look out for is yourself.
Right. You
But
are the
at the
most
same
important
time,
person in any relationship.
yeah. But you also got to focus on like what are the uh factors to helping build yourself. And if you're just focused on yourself, nothing like nobody else around you, single like me, um, but like you're just
If any
cutting
girls are
everybody out of your
listening
life.
to this and you're single and you want to hit up my boy Waffles here, just reach out to him on Instagram, Twitter, reach out on the feedback of the podcast. We'll get back to you. We'll set it up. He's a
I,
fucking leader.
but it, 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 ugh, I'm all fucking flustered now,
Hey, if you guys are still listening to this, I apologize.
asshole. But
Oh,
nah,
man.
so it's the and you can't have success without determination, and that's a big factor. Like there's been plenty of times, I'm just like fuck this, this is hard. I'm just gonna give up. And like, what's the benefit of me taking these extra steps and all this extra time to get this tiny bit of extra pay, But in the long run, I've been looking at it. I'm just like, I just want to find a new fucking job. Like, I don't want to be here. It is what it is. I'll find something. And then I start thinking about it. I'm just like, well, why do I hate it so much? And it's just like, well, because I keep failing. I'm not understanding something. I try to understand it. It goes over my head, and then I give up. So it's happened like month or so ago.
Real quick on that, hold your thought. Like I think that's another reason why a lot of people give up too, is because they don't understand something. And that's where you need a good leader to come in. You need somebody to help show you the way if you are unfamiliar with it. Be like, hey, I'm not understanding this. I don't get this. And like, okay, well, let me show you. And that's what a good leader does. A good leader is not a gatekeeper of knowledge. A good leader is going to help shed light in what you need help with. Take it away, Waffles.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying. No.
My bad.
So the biggest thing is like I was talking about like affirmations and shit like that at the beginning, and I struggle with anxiety. I don't like social situations, anything that's new. Hate it.
Oh, did you know I'm actually working
Scares the
on a
hell out of
book
me.
about anxiety?
I do know you're working on a book about anxiety. I have it up on my second monitor right now.
Oh, you too? It's kind of
But
like you're editing it with me or something.
what crazy? No. Uh but no, so I do struggle with that, and the biggest thing is I didn't like asking questions because I always thought people thought less of me. And with this last month and a half roughly, my mentor keeps telling me to ask questions. If I'm not asking questions, then what am I doing? Like, am I actually learning something, or am I just doing something because I'm told to do something? You know? And I was just like, well, I have questions, but I don't want you to like think that I'm dumb.
The
Like
only dumb
I've done
question are
all
the
this
unasked ones.
exactly. Like I've done all these like classes online and shit, but I don't learn things unless it's hands on. And that was the biggest thing. It was what was that a lot of people don't ask questions, and they'll just think that they know what they're doing, and then they just start fucking up everything. And the biggest thing is if you don't understand something to its fullest extent or to how much you want to understand it, ask questions. That is the biggest thing that I try and tell people is ask questions. I don't care how stupid the question sounds to you, But if you need to ask it, ask it. A lot of people will say there's a lot of stupid questions you could ask. No, there's no such thing as a stupid question for the most part.
If
But
you don't ask, you're
don't
never gonna know. You know.
exactly don't think less of yourself just because you're curious or you don't understand. Like everybody learns differently, and you got to be able to understand something before you can do it. At least that's what I would like to say. People do things without knowing how they work and stuff like that. But besides the point, one of my coworkers does not understand electrical stuff, but I love electrical stuff. Like I did electrical mechanical engineering in high school, loved it. I built two different robots. Like it was great, and he
Elon
came
Musk.
up to me. No, they weren't that fancy. The fuck. It
It's
was
not a
just me
Tesla bot.
welding
These are
things
the beta bots.
together, fucking wiring switches and shit to make them move a little bit. Like they
What's
weren't
your purpose?
fancy by
You
any
pass
means,
butter.
but yeah, no, like he didn't understand something, so he asked for my help, and I helped him and tried to explain it best I could from what I understood, and he told me he was just like, it makes me think less of myself when I have to ask you questions because he's a main tech, I'm an apprentice, kind of. Um, but I was like, don't think less of yourself because you're asking questions. I was like, be glad you have the balls to ask questions to somebody that understands something a bit more than you do. Like I appreciate that you think that I understand a lot of this shit. I mean, granted, I do, but the fact that he's willing enough as an adult to come ask me a question and instead of just instead of just bitching about it, giving up, and then go doing something else. He wanted to learn. He wanted to figure out this problem. And so we worked on it together, figured out the problem, kind of. We had to talk to some other people about it. But going through all the steps for our testing and everything, he wanted to make sure he was doing it right. So I double checked everything, got the same stuff he did, and he explained to me how he did it. And now I feel like he has a better understanding with electrical problems and being able to troubleshoot all that. And that's the biggest thing is questions. Questions. Don't ever be afraid to ask a question if you don't feel like you understand it. Because the worst thing you can do is what I keep hearing a lot is fake it till you make it. Don't fucking fake it. If you don't understand something, ask a question about it. That way you can understand it, and that way you'll make it and have the knowledge instead of faking it and then getting your ass chewed out because you fuck up some simple problem.
I feel like we had a conversation about this whole fake it till you make it thing. Like people say it for certain scenarios, and I get it, it applies for certain things. But in the general sense, when you fake something, you are not being authentic. And when you're not being authentic, you're not going to grow organically. Whether that's in knowledge, whether that's in social stature, when you fake it till you make it, what are you going to do when you make it? And you're like, oh, what do I do now? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing up here. So it's better to ask questions, do your research, get your knowledge, grow,
Succeed.
succeed. Success is the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, and a lot of people like I don't know I struggle with you know being willing to ask questions, but I keep getting told to ask a question no matter what it is. Like even if I understand something completely, ask a question. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. If I think I know something like 100%, then why am I gonna ask a question about it? And the mentor was just like, it if you don't ask a question, then I'm just gonna think you know it all and just throw you to the wolves or sharks, whatever whatever analogy you want to use. And so I was like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna just ask, simple questions. And then, the simple questions that I have, turns out I actually didn't know what I or everything that I thought I knew. Like a lot of things are a lot more different than I thought. And being able to, I guess, push down your ego a little bit to help you succeed in the long run is one of the biggest things that you can do to help out, whether it be
100%.
building yourself, building your team, whatever. And
Dropping that
it's
ego, man. Couldn't have said
ego,
stronger
yeah.
words, dude. So many people are gate kept by their own fucking ego. I even saw it on an episode of Dave. He's having these problems trying to progress as a musician, and he goes to pretty much like this rehab place, for people like him. And I guess this dude worked with a lot of other musicians and helped him break out. And what it was he had to kill his ego, right? He killed his ego, dude, and came out and started making some bangers, right? So when you destroy your egotistical self, who you think you're putting out, like this facade of yourself, when you can just tap into your true genuine inner self, that's when people start following you. That's when you start becoming more. Sorry, I got off on a fucking tangent. My bad, dude. Goddamn weed.
No, you're good, man. Like, no, like that's a big thing that I've seen a lot is people's egos get in the way. They think that they're hot shit and they're the know it all and they don't have to learn anything else. But it that's the biggest thing is their ego keeps getting in the way. Now they don't understand shit and they're not moving anywhere. They're just sitting there bitching about stuff and not going anywhere in their career, and then they'll end up quitting. And I don't know, after that, that going downhill usually, unless they decide to shove their ego back in their pocket where it belongs. Like, yes, it's not a bad thing to have a slight ego, but if you're gonna be you know acting all high and mighty all the time, even though you don't understand jack shit of what you're doing, then you're not going anywhere. And the biggest one of the biggest things that I preach about is taking that initiative. You know, being the one that's like, hey, it's slow. We can do something small like clean up, or like, but what I kept doing and why I'm moving up and somebody else isn't. If they're listening to this podcast, they're probably gonna get pissed off at me, but I don't give a fuck. Um,
Waffles out here making enemies.
bro, I don't. I tried to help him out multiple times, like the last 6 months. We've all been through hell and dealing with all the bullshit that has been brought upon us. And I kept preaching about the same shit, taking the initiative. And he kept telling me because his fucking ego kept getting in the way. Was I take plenty of initiative. This is bullshit. I shouldn't have to do any of this stuff. Like, put your fucking ego back in your pocket, dude. Fucking leave it at the door. I don't want to see it. And I kept taking the initiative to do more training, even though I'm not getting paid as much as if I was a full-time tech doing it, but I'm still learning. I'm taking the initiative to lead the new people that are coming in and show them that there's always something to do. It like even if we don't have any cars, there's you can go sweep up the tire balancer, the wheel machines, clean up the trash from the trash cans, like clean up our area, sweep the floor, scrub down one of the bays. Like, it's about staying busy. even when you're not being watched. And that's, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's always what I've pretty much taught myself. Well, I guess been raised by is it's not what you're doing when you're being watched. It's what you're doing when no one's watching, right?
I have
And
heard that, definitely. Um, I still don't know how it like makes sense, but I get the moral of it, right? But when you think about it, it's like it doesn't matter what you do when people are watching, it's what you do when people aren't watching. Because obviously, the unspoken actions are those that have the biggest effect. Like you're not going to feel good about, you shouldn't do something just to preach about it to feel good about it. Like when you do something, it gets noticed, and when it comes back to you, that's what makes you feel good. And so do stuff out of the kindness of your heart, because you start getting into a habit of doing things like that. You shouldn't get into a habit of doing things because you want something out of it.
well, I mean, it's not always a bad thing to want something out of it,
No, true, true,
but
but I mean that,
yeah,
take
no,
the
like
selfishness out of it.
the biggest thing that like I'll just use my job as an example. Like whenever there wasn't something to do, I had things cleaned up. I was always doing training, and at one point, I don't sit there watching everybody. Oh, when is the manager going to come back here so that way I can show him I'm doing training? Like I don't have a slideshow just pulled up just to make it look like I'm on. I'm doing training while scrolling through Instagram. Also, not going to name the person. Anyways, but no, like I did a bunch of training. I'm being sent out again next week to do some more training, like all on the company's expense too. Like it's not something I wasn't expecting to be, pushed through a bunch of training like I am. But they're seeing that I'm taking the initiative to want to learn more, to want to do more. And I didn't think that they were seeing me at all. Didn't see what I was doing, the shit that I had gotten done, and it's the shit that you least expect. I wasn't expecting, to be an apprentice before this other person or these other two people, but since I put in that initiative to do my training, to lead the team, and to show that I want to learn more and do more, and they're willing to fly me out somewhere to get some training done, or you know I'll do virtual classes and shit, and it's great. Like I got a decent bit of freedom with that, and you just gotta make it. A lot of people tell me to take advantage of that shit, and I'm taking advantage of it to benefit my knowledge, but that's not what they're telling. That's not what you know they meant by that. They're like, oh, well, the company's flying you out to LA to go do training. Go to the beach. Like, I'm good. I'm there for training. That's what I'm focused on. I'll do that, and then I'm flying back home. Like, I'm not gonna go out to a strip club or to some fancy steakhouse, get a $300 meal. Like, no, it's stupid. Now you got the owners breathing down our necks talking about, oh, you can't go to, you get this per diem, and that's it. Like, it's, people ruin it, and don't be that guy
Yeah, I
or
think
girl,
me and my
whatever.
wife splurge like once a month maybe. Just because it's like we don't need to do that. We're on our grind. We know what we want to do. We're working towards it. And that's another reason why her boss loves her so much at her work, and they're looking at her at a higher position within the company because of the way she busts her ass at work. She's always doing things and on top of prep, and they made her the lead person in the kitchen, that makes the pizzas and all that stuff and the sandwiches and stuff. So she's moving on up, man, and that's what you got to do. Just put your work in, put your feet down, do the work, and if you don't know what to do, ask questions, and somebody will show you. If somebody's not going to show you what to do, then you're obviously not working in the right spot.
Exactly. If you can't, if someone's not willing to teach you something, then you might as well just find somewhere else. Or you could take that initiative and learn it yourself. Show those higher ups that you're better than them now because you understand things better and you're willing to teach a team. So I mean, it can go both ways. Like
Like a bisexual.
Christ. But as long as you see yourself growing as a person and growing with knowledge and experience, I guess it's probably the same thing. um but yeah, it's that's like the biggest thing you need to look forward to is if you can't find someone that's willing to teach you, take that initiative and then be willing enough to not have that ego of, well, I figured it out, now you should too. Take that ego, leave it at the door. That's not good for anybody. Like, I hate it. I don't hate a lot of things, but that's one of the things that I absolutely hate. And when someone's ego gets in the way, it'll get in the way of their career as well. But
I th- I
being
think
yeah,
sorry, I was just gonna say I think the ego can get in the way of everything that you do. You know, whether that be work, relationships, just pretty much anything that you apply yourself to in life, your ego will get in the way of you reaching your true potential.
absolutely.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Uh,
That's my bad. I
I don't
completely cut
remember.
you off. Oh
um,
no.
uh,
Rewind.
I don't remember. I don't know. You cut me off, then I was like, man, I'm thirsty.
I gotta stop
That's
doing
the
that, man.
that was the thought that filled my head after that was, oh, I'm out of all I'm out of water, so
And
shit.
basically, you know, it's one team, one dream, right? So if you're working in a place where you have people on your team and somebody's confused or you see them struggling or you know that somebody might need help with something, offer that hand. Be somebody that can your workers can lean on, you know, or come to if they need advice or help on how to do something, because that's only going to help your weaker link become stronger. Take it away, Waffles.
Yeah, no, I mean you couldn't have said it any better, really. Uh, that's why I'm so willing to help out those that don't know as much as me because I was there at one point. I ran into a lot of those people that were just like, "Well, I figured it out. Now you can figure it out. I'm not gonna teach you. I'm not gonna help you with your questions, and that's on you." I'm just like, "Well, this is bullshit. Fuck you guys." And so, I'm a fairly knowledgeable person, but like I've told a lot of people, I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of none. If I don't understand something that you have a question about, I will go out, I will find the answer to that question, and then I will come back and let you know. And being able to find that mentor, that leader, or whatever, to be willing enough to help you out is a big uh, key for a lot of things. But if you can't find somebody like that, be that person. But don't expect somebody else to be that person because a lot of today's people lack, uh, I guess, for lack of better terms, being the bigger person. Everyone's out for themselves and that's it. You know, they're just like, fuck you. Uh, I learned this on my own. Now you got to go do it. I don't want to deal with your bullshittery, you slowing me down. In reality, one team, one fight. Now you just fucked over your whole team. Like, congratulations. who's the one to blame about that? And a lot of people don't see it that way. And taking that, being that, being willing enough to be that person to not have a large ego, and being willing to help those who are new to that field, or who just don't understand it quite as well as you do, is a big thing in any business you go into.
Big facts, big facts. Um, so I believe we covered success and determination pretty well. I want to wrap back around to affirmations. So, uh, this book that not to like go back to the book, but there's a lot of stuff involving affirmations that can help you with anxiety, which is why I'm thinking about it. Because like when I was writing it, it talked about affirmations a lot, and you can do it when you wake up. You wake up in the morning, you go brush your teeth, whatever, you look in the mirror, just tell yourself you're going to have a good day. Start by doing that. Something small, tell yourself you look good today. Even if you don't think you look good, tell yourself you look good. Eventually, you do that every day, you're going to believe that you look good. And that's how you build self-confidence. That's how you build that, not necessarily ego, but that confidence, the will to carry yourself better. Like when you see somebody and they're just commanding a room with how they talk, they're just so vibrant and magnetic, that comes from building up. Like you don't just, well, some people are born like that, I guess, but people work towards that. Like you can't just wake up in the morning having this mediocre life and okay, yeah, boom, everything's the best. Like you got to work towards it. You have to tell yourself like, okay, this is going to be a good day. I'm going to make today a good day. Like I'm going to go out and do this, right? Set goals, accomplish those goals. Start small, celebrate those small victories. It all adds up and builds up into your overall well-being that you're trying to achieve. And so, affirmations are super, super key in achieving a more balanced well being. There's a lot of negativity in this world. There's not enough positivity. There's not enough people that are willing to help, willing to show, and willing to guide those that need it. Those that are less fortunate in the knowledge or the experience, which I do believe are different things, by the way. I'll get into that right now. But, like I think we need leadership. We need people that can see that vision and want to share it with others. And maybe this podcast could do that. Maybe people, maybe management people can listen to this podcast and like, maybe I should stop being a micromanaging dickbag and start helping my team out a little more. And if the shoe fits, fucking wear it. Like I don't care. I'm not putting names out there. But I've been a part of jobs where, dude, I was an assistant manager and my manager wouldn't do shit. Like I became an assistant manager at this job, and my store manager went on maternity leave for like 6 months. And I was like, okay, so now I'm running the store as an assistant manager, doing the management jobs stuff, helping out the other team like do their stuff as well. So it was pretty stressful, and I totally get it, but it is one team and it is one dream. You guys, the dream is success. You guys want to be successful, you have to help each other out. And another thing I wanted to talk about was knowledge and experience. Like that they can be two things that tie in together, but I do believe they're separate. Like you could have the knowledge to make a cup of ramen, but you might not have the experience to make a cup of ramen, so you might mess it up your first time. But that's where your determination comes in. You have to have the determination to make a good cup of ramen. You fuck up the first time, make it again. Try it again, do something different. Just don't repeat the same stuff that you messed up on and expect different results, because that's the definition of insanity. So, determination, affirmations, they all they all tie into you achieving success. And success being the journey, growing as an individual, growing as a team, growing as whatever you want that comes with success. You're not going to overnight just make it, I mean, unless you fucking put out some YouTube video and it just happens overnight, or a TikTok or something, but that's a whole different story. That's the exception, not the rule. Affirmations, determination, success. Awesome fucking topics, Waffles. I loved talking about those for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like the biggest thing I like I was saying that is the key for a lot of those is taking that initiative. Don't expect shit to happen, but taking that initiative to get that shit to happen is a big key for all of that.
And that's something I need to work on more too, is taking the initiative. Cause
It's
I've got
definitely difficult by
determination
far.
for sure. Like I've got determination. I can be a positive voice, but taking that initiative is something that I've been trying to work a little more on, because I know I lack in it, and I know it's a weak spot for me. So I know it's what I need to focus on, and I know it's what is going to help me grow as an individual. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that don't expect any of this shit to happen overnight. It's all about there's a journey to every step of this, and a lot of people, I probably fucking I'll even admit this shit. I am a big procrastinator. Like,
oh, preaching to the
yes,
choir here, bro.
I may talk about take that initiative, but I do procrastinate on a lot of shit. And like I don't know for anybody who saw that fucking our YouTube video. What was it, episode 6?
Oh, with deathcore,
Yeah,
with your messy room.
my room is not messy, fuckers. Yeah, but no, I still have that same box on my chair.
That's gonna be a never-ending joke.
Like, it's not the fact that I haven't cleaned my room. It's just the fact that
You
it's
saw
still
the
an
box on the
unopened
chair.
box. It's an unopened box on my chair. I'm just like, yeah, I'll
What's in the
open it
box, dude?
eventually.
Why is it unopened? What are you getting that you just leave it unopened? Like, yeah, I bought this. I'm just gonna leave it in the box. I don't need it right now.
It's another Ulti container.
Oh, that makes sense. Speaking of
It's just
ulti,
an unopened box.
oh my god, that's so
Like,
funny, dude.
I got 3 containers. Two came in separate boxes for some reason. So, well, the one that I didn't want at the moment is still in the fucking chair.
I have 7 water bottles by my desk, and one of them has Kool-Aid in it, and none of them have ulti because I'm out.
I've got a Yeti that has liquor. My shaker cup
Nice.
is empty because I chugged some like an hour ago. And then my water bottle, which is got like a sip of water left in it. That's it. The only cups that I have.
Dude, I
Oh,
fucking
and then
love water, man.
I have an empty twisted tea can from earlier. Yeah, I got home, pounded that fucking thing, and fell asleep.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were. I was like, this dude is
And
not doing
because
anything.
fucking
He's not in the Discord. He's not
you
on
were texting me,
Diablo.
and I was like, all right, cool. Fucking responded back to you. I drank half a twisted tea, fell asleep for like 30 minutes, and I was like, damn, I'm thirsty. Looked back over, saw that I still had half a can of twisted tea, pretty
Drank
much chugged
it.
the rest of it. Fell back asleep for probably another half hour. It was like, I'm good.
Well, what a Saturday.
But I mean, dude, work today was like it wasn't horrible, but I don't know. I didn't have best time. I really don't like working on Saturdays. That's why I asked for them off.
Hey, you said it's
More so,
overtime though, man.
I mean, yeah, it is overtime, but fuck, dude, I don't know what it is. Just working Saturday, every Saturday, I could have a day
Yeah,
off in a week.
if
I
you
have
work
still
a
time.
Monday through Friday, working Saturday sucks, even if it's overtime. You're
Yeah,
always looking forward to those weekends, and then
like the
just
pay, nice, but
the
the
time, not enough.
I'm just physically drained from the week, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I gotta sleep in this weekend." And then I woke up and was just like, fuck, I
Just
have to work in an
kidding.
hour. I was like, I got to work in an hour. Shit. 5 more minutes.
Hit that snooze. Gotta be careful hitting that snooze. It might hit that off, you know. That alarm doesn't come back on. Oh
Yep,
man.
I did that Thursday.
Yeah.
Showed
Kelly's
up to
Kelly's
work
done that a
at
couple times.
6:57. I start my shift at 7. I'm supposed to, like, I usually try and get there like 6:30, 6:45. I didn't leave my house until 6:45. It was like fuck. The entire way to work. I was like, I'm about to get my ass chewed out. This is gonna suck.
Just fucking rushing around.
But I got there with a couple minutes to spare. Thankfully,
Nice.
traffic wasn't atrocious, and I only hit one red light. And I was like, nice. Universe is on my side today. Let's go.
Hey, the stars align, you know? That's what it is.
Exactly.
Manifestation, you know, you were manifesting that you wanted to get to work on time and it happened. The stars aligned
I
to make it happen.
don't know about that. I think it was just the luck of the draw
We're
because
definitely gonna have to get into manifestation on one of these episodes.
there be times where I try and manifest the shit out of a good day, you know, and then it takes me 45 minutes to get to work, and then it's a long day at work, and I'm just like, fuck. It was supposed to be a good day.
But then does the rest of your day get better?
Usually after work, not have to deal with all the
Okay.
shit that happened.
As long as it gets better after. You know, like obviously your day has to have a low point and then it's gonna have a high point. You know, every
Usually
day.
my low
So
point's waking up.
no, 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 no.
Well, no,
Affirmations.
I'm
You
just tired. And I just because I wake up and then realize I have to go to work, and I'm just like, I don't want to go to work. I want to go back to sleep for a little bit longer.
no, you look in the mirror and you say, I'm about to go to work and make this motherfucking money. I'm gonna come home and kill it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you gotta do, bro. You're doing it. You're killing it. You're doing great.
I'm trying, man.
Hey,
I'm
well,
getting
it's
awfully
shown.
tired though. But
Yeah, well, we're about to wrap this one up so you can get some rest, man.
I mean, I had a couple hours of sleep already. I think I'm good.
Yeah, you're gonna go to sleep shortly after we're done here.
Oh, most likely. I
Oh,
got a couple things to do tomorrow.
yeah, actually, I do too. I normally spend Sundays with the family, you know, out of Web3 and all that stuff. But with Diablo 4 coming out, Kelly's been playing it, so I've been able to be playing it too. But I want to get some editing on the book done tomorrow. I think I did some earlier. I want to do some more tomorrow. That way, when you look at it, there's not as much for you to do. But I think we should wrap this episode here. This has been a great one. Success, affirmations, and determination. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man.
Those listening at home, don't forget to like, uh, well, I guess, well, yeah, you can like the podcast if you haven't already. Whatever. If you're on YouTube, if this ends up being on YouTube, like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify. We're trying to get more Spotify listeners. That way, we can start getting some ambassador ads going for the podcast and start generating some revenue. Because that would be super sick. We're trying to make something out of this. You know, we need your help. So thanks for listening. Thank you, Waffles. Really appreciate it. This is your boy Coke Smush signing out.